Good afternoon, students.
Good
Welcome
afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
ma'am.
ma'am.
welcome to
Good afternoon,
Medicraft
ma'am.
Academy.
How are you, ma'am? Good afternoon.
Fine, thank you. Fine, fine, fine. Good afternoon, children. So today we are with the poem "The Heart of the Tree." Okay, Henry Curly Bonner, and we have already done it that day. That is the first portion of it. I'll just take a recap of it. Fine, and then we'll go further. Okay. Now we talked about the author, that is the poet. First and foremost, I want to tell you that this heart of the tree, it is specifically about a tree. And why is it important today? It is important. We have been learning about this in other subjects too in regard to the tree. But yet, this poet has talked about the tree being the heart. Now, the heart is the main organ of the body, right? So, also the tree, why is it counted as heart? Because it is having a very main important point for survival, right? Okay, alter tab. People when they come late, they have just over here a minute. Again, still coming. Okay, so we were just talking regarding to the tree. It has a very important position in our life, right? The tree, as I explained you, it helps to purify the atmosphere. Okay, and here we just go quickly the recap of the poet first, then we proceed further. Okay, he's an American poet and novelist, and born in New York, received his education in New York City, and he became a very famous editor as well as editor for humorous magazine, means funny, and that magazine's name is Pup. And he also wrote many short stories, so he can rightly be called even an author and a novelist. And fine, his poetic works, as you can see, there are so many of them, you can see here. And the poetry here, what you have to keep in mind here, it reveals a light play of imagination. Also, he's coming over the poetic structure, and he passed away in on May 11, 1896, and he was born 1855, died in 1896. Okay, now specifically we just have to go in regard to what he wants to say in the poem. Now the main points over here, what he has focused, that's the value of the trees. As I told you, it's having the very important position in the society. As good as a heart has a very important function in our body, so also he has pointed out tree to be the heart. Why? Because it also plays a very vital matlab important role. Okay, now planting trees, he says it benefits us in several, means many ways, and he also calls it a friend, and to whom the sun and the sky ensures cool breeze and a very good atmosphere of peace, music, harmony means unity, and also many other benefits. And as we also saw that it has cool shade, tender rains, and it has a living legacy. A very long period of service does it do. And also, we have to keep in mind for the next generation. And a person who is planting a tree does a civic good, means good for the society, ensures the growth, welfare of the country, and also of the whole nation at large. It's not only for the society, but he thinks of the future, right? Now the poem, it is the heart. Now this particular thing is a very inspirational poem, as we already have seen. It is having great relevance in modern times. As you know, we are having, a lot of pollution today. Unless and until we plant trees, the polluted atmosphere won't get clear. It opens a question. Okay, here the poet poses a question. Poses means asks a question. Now this is a poetic device. A poetic device. Why is it called poetic device? Because it is, he's asking a question for the sake of asking. He's not wanting an answer, but he's giving us different ways and modes what a person who plants a tree really has, what benefit that person has. Okay. And therefore, it is having a very relevant message in our times. Always with a question does he ask, and he is repeating this three times in all the three stanzas. He's saying, who plants a tree, what does he plant? What does he plant? He's asking. And he himself provides the answer in metaphors. What is metaphor? It is one of the figure of speech, one of the figures of speech. And he says it's a friend. The tree itself is a friend, it's a metaphor, and of the sun and the sky. In what way? It provides us shadow, okay, shade. It also makes, what to say, it's only because of the sunlight, it makes what? It's food, right? Photosynthesis. And why it is of the sky? Because if trees are there, then it will help us to get rain. If the forest is cut, then again it will be very scanty rain. In other words, ensures us healthy environment. Okay. And as we already saw, the cool, freeze, free breeze. If you plant a tree, no one is going to ask money over there, but you're getting the cool breeze freely without any money. It stands akin to heaven. It is like to heaven, and it shelters birds. One can hear sweet songs. The twilight, as I told you, twilight is the first light of the morning. And who plants a tree creates a congenial atmosphere, friendly atmosphere all around, in which there is peace, comfort, beauty, music, and harmony. Harmony here means unity. He also gets to enumerate several other benefits. Okay, as we already seen, it's being repeated again and again. Shade and tender rain gives seeds. And if a person plants a tree, he is not planting one tree, because several other trees are going to be planted. As you know, see, it's going to be flowers, the flowers, after that there'll be seeds, okay, and then by and by those seeds will fall down and there'll be soil erosion and the seeds will be carried, and then there will be they will be getting planted by its own self, okay, in other places. By doing so, there will be a big forest, okay, and the buds bloom into flowers, and therefore it is a forest heritage. It is the rich heritage of the nation, and it serves as a living legacy for the next generation. If suppose somebody thinks, okay, why should I plant a tree, I'm not going to remain. But no, so the person there is selfless, he is not selfish. If he would be selfish, he would say, why should I plant? But he is selfless. Therefore, he has got a very high position in the society. Well, it's a symbol, matlab sign of joy for us stillborn babies, meaning children. These children have not been born and it is for them. Therefore, it's also called a legacy. It's a link, meaning it's a joining of what? Our present and the future. So here he does a good service for the society. Civic matlab civil means of society. Neighbors feel blessed and benefited. Ensures growth of his country. As you know, the wood is useful in many ways. Okay, and country's growth depends on the progress and on its wealth of the trees. So he yearns. What is yearns? He longs for the welfare. Yearns means desires, means longs for of his country. In fact, by planting a tree, he plants or he helps the nation to grow further. Now let us see the poem again, because you need to see it very nicely. See the first question he is posing. Posing means asking. What does he plant? Who plants a tree? He plants a friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breeze free, a shaft of beauty towering high. He plants a home to heaven and I, for song and mother croon of bird, in hushed and happy twilight heard, the treble of heaven's harmony. These things he plants who plants a tree. Now try to understand the first stanza. I'm not going to show the explanation first. Just see what the explanation, what I give you. Just listen. As you know, I always tell you keep your pens, pencils, and on to note down some main points. Fine. Now he's posing a question. This is a poetic device, poetic technique, okay, or a tool what poets use. He's asking a question. It is called rhetoric, meaning he doesn't want an answer, he is already providing an answer by these all these lines. He says he plants a friend, therefore the tree is a friend, direct metaphor of the sun and the sky. He plants the flag. Now understand, children, the flag. What is the flag? It is a symbol of a country, right? It's a symbol of a country. Now he keeps this tree in the place of a flag. Why? When the okay, children are coming late, my dear. Hmm. Who is this? Anybody else coming? Nisarg. Try to come early, my dear. Fine, let's go back.
मैम मैं कब का
Who is that who came just now? Hmm?
मैम जानु प्रजापति has the same just now.
Okay. Anyone else remaining? Hmm. My goodness, what's happening? Okay. Now I was just explaining you that, right? Regarding the poem, you have the textbook with you. Now I'm just reading from the textbook. Some problem over here has come. Okay, now just see, keep your textbook in front of you, I think, so you have it. He plants a friend of the sun and the sky. He plants the flag of breeze free. Okay, now I was just explaining you what the flag is. As I told you, the flag is the symbol of a nation. Just a minute, okay, read that. That somebody has come. Okay. Okay, so I said it has the position of a flag. Okay, now flag is what it is having a yes, it flutters in the air, right? And it is the symbol of a nation. So also our tree symbolizes beauty. Okay, it flutters in the breeze as well as it has got a very vital or important position in our society. Fine, and therefore he plants the flag of breezes free. You get a free breeze. Okay, the shaft of beauty. Shaft, it's a long pole like thing. Okay, shaft of beauty. It looks beautiful. You see, there are the shape of trees, maybe different, maybe long, okay, tall. And so, shaft of beauty towering high. It towers means just like a tower. He plants a home to heaven and I. Now, why is it called a home? Because, as you know, there are so many birds which make its nest in the tree. Okay, and it is as good as heaven. It's a home to the heaven. It's a tall tree, and the birds will make its nest, and it is as good as it is touching the heaven. So, anai means near. Okay, it reaches as good as it's reaching the heaven, and it is a home for the birds. For song, children are coming in the middle now, it makes disturbance. Who is that?
Guys, can you hear me? हेलो. अरे यार, मीटिंग लेफ्ट हो गया. क्या किया आपने?
I didn't know now, before only I tried. Because it was not becoming, I came to call you.
Okay, I would request you to join again. Okay, हो गया. Okay, okay, done. Can you see the screen? There was a technical glitch. We lost the internet. Okay, 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 बेटा. स्क्रीन दिख रहा है ना? यस यस यस, वो इंटरनेट लॉस हो गया था. इंटरनेट लॉस हो गया था. इंटरनेट लॉस हो गया था. ओके, इंटरनेट लॉस हो गया था बेटा, इसके लिए.
Okay, sir, it's okay.
As I was telling you that he compares it to the flag. Okay,
Okay.
in this children come, I have to admit them, right?
मैं करता हूँ मैं आता हूँ
Okay, fine. Okay. Now he also calls it as a flag and flag of the breeze, which we get free. He says the shaft of beauty. Shaft is a very long pole-like thing, so he considers it just like a shaft. Okay, of beauty, beautiful. Towering means it's tall, reaching right to the heaven. He plants a home to heaven and I. Home? Whose home? Home for the birds. And I means near the heaven. It touches right to the heaven. It's just an imagination. Okay, and the birds also make its home in the heaven. For song and mother croon of bird. Mother, that is the baby bird, and the mother bird comes over there. And when the mother comes and chirps means make the noise of a bird, then the baby bird will listen. So it's then admit
What to tap?
again. Can it not become like that? Okay. In hushed and happy twilight heard, here in this third line, in hushed and happy twilight heard, meaning in the early hours of the morning, that is the first light is called twilight. So that time it's heard. There's a hush, the birds' songs, and it is happily heard. If you go under the tree early hours of the morning, you'll see so many birds twittering. Okay, treble of heaven's harmony. The heaven's harmony, that is unity of the heaven, is tripled. Teen guna, it is increasing three times more. When you see all the baby birds and the mother birds and all the birds twittering in the trees, which is towering up in the sky near the heaven, you feel happy. So these things he plants, who plants a tree. So he's planting all these things, the person who plants a tree. So the person himself is he's playing a very important role. Now we go for this explanation. I'll just go very quickly. It's not that hard. Value of planting a tree. He plants many things. Okay, this is come right?
No, no, no.
No, this is different one.
Yes.
Okay, so here, as we have seen already, it's a friend of the atmosphere, reduces air temperature. Okay, purifies the air, trapping the dust, pollen and smoke. It is therefore it is called a friend. It ensures free, gentle breeze. Leaves flutter in the breeze as does a flag. It is fluttering in the air, you see, its leaves and all. Provides cool shade, and the grown up tree looks like a beautiful tower. Grown up tree it is called. The tree which is fully grown, it's looking just like a tower. Tower means tower. We will not say tower, it's tower. As if it has made a home closer to heaven. So you understood? So it looks as good as it's made a heaven to a home near heaven. Depends on the sunlight to make its food. As you know, it's during photosynthesis. Thus, it is aptly described as the friend of the sun and the sky. Very important question can be, why is the title apt? Friend, heart of the tree. Okay, you have to keep in mind when we are discussing all this, many of the things can be asked as a question. Therefore, it's called the friend of the sun and the sky. and it turns the place around into heaven. The place around it is just considered as good as heaven. Heavenly means happy. Okay? The place where there are green trees is nothing short of heaven. So it is just as good as a heavenly atmosphere. As I'd given you example in the previous lecture also, that you see, imagine that you're going through a forest, it's very sunny. If you find a tree over there, okay, what you do? You just go and have a shade. You'll go and stand there for some time or sit. Okay, so it's really a heavenly place. He who plants a tree ensures shelter for the birds whose sweet crooning is silent and happy. Twilight delights us. Delights means makes us happy. So the person who plants a tree also thinks of the sweet birds. Okay, planting tree ensures peace, harmony, comfort for everyone. Okay, this is what he does. Again, he's posing the same question. He answers it. This is a poetic device, as I told you. Remember, posing a question not for the sake of answer, just as a device. Okay. He plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants cool shade. So, cool shade and tender rain. This and seed and bud of days to be. Why seed and bud? Because as you know, the sapling, when it is put into the ground, it germinates, okay, becomes a plant, and this grows into a tree. The tree bears flowers, the flowers will fall off, and then the seeds, okay. So just a small little sapling, just by sapling, put a seed and then it grows and on, okay. That's the way it grows. And years that fade and flush, it takes years. But as I told you, even the previous lecture, see, it remains and it grows for more than 2 to 300 years is the lifespan of a tree. Years that fade and flush again, the plants, the glory of the plain. What is glory? Glory means greatness of what? The plain. He plants the forest's heritage. The richness of the forest does he plant. Harvest of a coming age. He's saying, see, he is considering it as an age, meaning the duration, the number of years, the whole age. It's a harvest. Great thing he has done. The joy that unborn eyes shall see. These things he plants who plants a tree. So the children are still unborn, and these trees will be the legacy of the coming generation. And therefore, he says the unborn eyes. Let us see the explanation, you will know it better. So he repeats the question, okay, and the answer provided it's very simple. It's not the one, no? By planting tree, we ensure shade for us. Summer, shade for us in summer and tender rains in all the seasons. Always you wait for the rains when it is too hot, isn't it? So, which are essential for our very existence. Imagine if there was no tree and scanty rainfall. So the very existence of the tree is a great importance to us. This noise again and again. Tree gives us seeds which sprout, as I just explained you, and the buds. You know what is bud, na? Before it blooms into flower, that thing is called beauty bud, kali, जो हिंदी में कहते हैं. So which bloom in times to come. The poet describes a tree, the forest's heritage, the richness of the heritage. It's a heritage of the forest itself. Because one tree planted will be grown into the forest, and it's not that only one tree is planted and it's gone, that it just spreads, as I told you, through soil erosion and all the seeds move on, and then there are even that person also can plant. many trees also, but even one tree is planted, it just goes becomes a heritage. Harvest of a coming age. It can serve as a living legacy for the next generation, provide many benefits to us, and it's for generations, not one. So, yes, what happened? The time to come. In fact, it's a link between us and our children, the present and the future. Okay, so this word in the next stanza. Now, let's see. Again, he poses the question in the last stanza saying, what does he plan to plant a tree? The answer in sap and leaf and wood, the sapling, leaf. He says each and every part of the tree is useful. The saplings, when we put it, and then comes to the leaf. Leaves also are important. We get it as, we can use it food. It's not the tree, but there are plants also of what we use it as food. Wood, is very important. So in love of home and loyalty, loyalty means faithfulness. He is really planting a home. There's a difference between house and home. So in love of home and loyalty, he considers the whole world his big home. He has the familiar feeling of a family and far cast thought of civic good of the society, his blessings on the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand. Can you see the his, he, his is capitalized? So here, children, the poet likens the person who plants a tree to God. Generally, we write it HIS, his, when it is synonymized as for God. Okay. Now, the poet says he is godly. He has the quality of God. Therefore, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of our land. Therefore, that person is having godlike qualities, and therefore he is capitalized. A nation's growth. So even the poet says he's not a simple person who just plants the trees, having great empathy or sympathy for others. Okay, he has kindness, and therefore he is likened to God. A nation's growth from sea to sea starts in his heart who plants a tree. Okay, the very feeling of helping the humankind is there in his heart. Many other benefits planting a tree, good values like love, loyalty, and all. Unless and until you have love for others, you won't do that. You need to have the affection. Planted, when one plants and nurtures a tree, a plant turns into a tree, therefore it's nurturing. Okay, one who plants a tree does it out of a sense of loyalty. Loyalty means faithfulness, love for his family. See, he's considering the whole of the world of his family. Whole world. See the word? Whole world. Planting a tree also does the civic good. The tree benefits all the neighbors around. Poet emphasizes means he has the importance of emphasizes बाहर देकर बोलना क्या कहता है the fact. It is a fact, the truth. The country's growth and development depends upon its wealth of the trees. Who plants a tree is conscious of the fact, means he is knowing, he understands that future of the progress of mankind depends upon the planting of the trees. Boys and girls, keep one thing in mind when you're going to write the answers. If you quote these lines in any of the paragraphs, if you quote the lines and then write, you'll get better marks. See here, he says again, who is in the hollow of his hand. Here it's likening to God. Hollow means the hollow of the hand. Okay. See, there are many pictures like that, right? And over here he's holding a tree and it is just growing into a big forest and it is growing for the good of the nation, holds all the growth of our land. A nation's growth from sea to sea stirs in his heart who plants a tree. So he is selfless, not selfish. Therefore, he does this good work for humanity. Okay. So here we have completed the poem, and the next lecture, I'll just tell you this before that. The next lecture, no, we will be doing in the heart of the tree. Poem in detail is done, stanza wise also is done. We'll be doing the theme, glossary, you will write it in your notebooks, critical appreciation, as well as the stylic devices, the poetic devices which is used. Okay, including that, we will be doing a story. But now, which is very less, which is remaining in MOV, that is Merchant of Venice, we will be continuing with that today. Okay, children? So I think so. You have the book and you remember that we had to complete that. Fine. I'm taking you back to Venice and it's a room. What's the room? Room is in Shylock's house and Jessica and Lancelot. Children, you know well what happened in the previous. Do you remember what happened in the
Yes,
previous?
ma'am.
Yes, tell me what happened. You know it, right?
Bassanio took him, his friend, to there.
Okay, very nice. And as you know, these two of them had to go to their new master. Remember? Fine. Now we are going back to Shylock's house, and it's in Venice. The Jessica and Lancelot. Children, here again, I tell you that this our playwright, that is Shakespeare, has put this in for what to say, a merry act, meaning somewhat free from the other serious scenes. Okay, so Jessica has come and she's saying, I'm sorry thou wilt leave my father. So she's saying, I'm so sorry that you're going to leave my father. Our house is hell. Can you imagine? The girl is telling the servant, but this person here is just like you see a home member. Okay, so she's saying, I'm sorry to tell you, my dad's house is a hell. And thou means you, a merry devil. Children, hear the word merry means happy, but here she doesn't want to say that he is a devil himself. Merry devil means he's somewhat funny also. Okay, he's a happy person. Devil here, she calls it in a funny manner. Okay, so a merry devil, didst rob it of some taste of tediousness. He has robbed. He's saying you have robbed something. Tediousness means something very tiresome. But fare thee well. So she's telling, I'm sorry you're leaving, but I fare you well, meaning goodbye. There is a ducat for thee. Now she wants him to do something. Okay, children. So what she's telling, come on, I'm giving you this ducat, that is the currency. And Lancelot, soon at supper shalt thou see. Thou means you. Lorenzo, who is thy new master's guest. Now he's going to be your new master's guest. Who is the new master? New master is Bassanio. You know, no? Give him this letter. So I'm going to give this, you just hand it over. Do it secretly. Don't do it in a way that people will see. Go and quietly give it. And so, farewell. I would not have my father see me in talk with thee. I don't want my father to see me talking with you. That's what she wants to say. So I regret. Let's see this quickly. She's saying she is feeling sorry that he is living the father's service in this way. And she herself confesses that it is a hell, means a very bad place for him as well as her, because she knows her father's behavior. And you have been a merry devil. in it. You're being a very happy person, okay, used to make fun, and that reduced some of the boredom. I was also feeling so bored over here. Because of your presence in my father's home, I was feeling a bit good. So a little bit of boring, and now you will not be there. Okay, so she says, okay, fine, bye. She's saying farewell means bye. Here is a ducat for you. Listen, Lancelot, you will see Lorenzo as soon as at supper. As soon at supper. Soon at supper. So he's saying you're going to see Lorenzo quickly just after the food, dinner, and he's your new master's guest tonight. Bassanio's guest, so give him this letter. She wants to somehow show that, send that letter to Lorenzo through Lancelot. So now she says she's saying goodbye, and I would not like my father to see me talking. So she doesn't want to allow her father to see her talking with this Lancelot. Adieu means bye. Tears exhibit my tongue. See this. Exhibit means show. Tongue means his speech. Most beautiful pagan. Pagan means she is not a Christian, a non Christian. Other than the Christian, they are calling pagans. Most sweet Jew. If a Christian do not play the knave, if he doesn't play the part of a knave, wait here, this here. Okay. And then, and get thee. I must, I much deceived. I am much deceived. Deceived means cheated. But adieu, he says, by these foolish drops do somewhat drown my manly spirit. Adieu. What is he considering as DROPS drops? Drops is the tears. He's saying, see, I should not consider it manly. Generally, the gents, I mean the males, don't cry. They don't cry, If they cry, also, it is not considered manly, he says. So he says, why should I drown myself in these foolish drops of tears? And he says, goodbye. So tears prevent me from speaking. After all, he is going to leave his master's home, and naturally, he also knows that this girl also is going to leave. So both of them are going to leave the master's house. Most beautiful pagan, that's a non Christian. My dear Jewish, a Jew is a man, a male, and Jewish is a female. Goodbye. I feel cheated if a Christian, that is Lorenzo he's talking of, is going to play dishonest and get you. Goodbye. And he's saying that if he would be dishonest to you, so he's feeling a bit of sorrowful, and therefore he's saying it should not dampen my manly courage. So let me be courageous and I should not cry. And he departs. Okay. Now, Jessica says farewell to Lancelot and he is moving. Alack means alas. What heinous sin, what terrible sin is it in me? I've done something great sin or what? To be ashamed to be my father's child? How can I be ashamed to be my own father's child? But though I'm a daughter to his blood, I'm not to his manners. O Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife, become a Christian and thy loving wife. See, now understand this. He isn't present. She's just talking about her thought to her own self. Okay, she's saying, alas, it's a terrible sin I'm doing. And really speaking, you can't say like this. You would not feel, you shouldn't feel bad to be the child of your parents. Anyhow, she feels bad. So, sin it is. She's saying it's a sin for me to feel ashamed. I should not feel ashamed. She feels it. the daughter of my father, though I am his child by blood, his bloodly relation. I do not have his habits. So she is thinking somewhat good, at least something. Though she is his own blood, that is his daughter, she doesn't have the habit of the father. So she's calling out to Lorenzo, if you keep your promise, promise means he had to come, right? And they both were to elope. Elope means run away. I will put an end to this conflict. Strife means conflict means fight. Are you understanding, children? For I will become a Christian and your dear wife. And then she tells this much and she moves off. Fine. Now, this is also a very short scene. Again, we are in Venice, and here this time we have Bresciano, Lorenzo, Celerino, and Celanio. Do you remember the first scene? These two people were there. Act one, scene one in with Antonio. So it's a very short scene, so we can complete it. Lorenzo says, nay, we will slink away in supper time. Slink here meaning, see here in this scene, children, they're going to slip off. I mean, move away quickly. And remember, they're going to play the masquerade. Masquerade is a mask dance. ठीक है हम जो आज पहनते हैं ना वो वाला मास्क नहीं वहां पर that masquerade will be like the whole face will be covered. You see, whole face will be covered and you will not know who is behind the person, you will not know the person, and then it is there having that, you know and you have to put it like that, and that person will be unknown. Fine. So this they are just planning how to get eloped from there. See, children, this is a play, okay, and this is written by Shakespeare. This is a funny scene also. Sometimes we feel, okay, see, this is a play and we are going to act accordingly. No, fine. We have to just understand how it is being done. You'll go in a mask and then elope away and all. Be very careful, okay? This is just we are learning. Okay. Nay, we will slink away in supper time. Disguise. What do you mean by disguise? Disguise means go in a different form, altogether differently. At my lodging means house, and return all in an hour. Who Lorenzo is saying, in 1 hour we'll do all this. Gresciano, we have not made good preparations. So Gresciano is saying we have not done good to prepare ourselves. So how could we do that? No, he's saying, so at supper time. Disguise means go in a different form from my house. Then we'll come back in an hour. And therefore he's saying, but we have not made preparations, how we're going to do. But this person who is that Lorenzo has made all the preparations. He's just saying, yes, just do what I say. We have not spoke yet of torch bearers. Celerino, sorry. What about the torch bearer? Children, keep in mind here, Jessica, Jessica is going to bear the torch bearer's role. She is going to disguise in the form of a boy. She is going to hold the torch. Okay, so I think so it's time up. And so children, till line 5 we have done. We will continue it in the next lecture. Okay. So have a good day and bye bye all of you. Thanks a lot.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Bye children. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.